Welcome
What?
to Bonehead Weekly Fun Size. We just had cursing right before we pushed record.
This week I thought we often do talk about things that we love. I thought maybe, it's time we talk about something that troubles us. And
Let's shit on people, James. Just say.
yes, we're talking about directors that we can't like. They're terrible directors. They made nothing that contributed to the arts. So
I
Joe, would you like to kick us
I
off?
will go first. I'm not even going to pick a dead one. I think James is going to pick a dead one. His producing career, there are some movies he's producer on that I can get behind, but as far as directing, Brett Ratner never made a movie that I enjoyed. The closest damn thing he ever got to making anything that I thought was watchable or that I could sit down and watch was Red Dragon. And all he did was make kind of a half-assed, half-hearted, nowhere near as good as the book version.
I'm not going to agree with you on that one.
That's
Rush
good.
Hour.
I do not care for the Rush
I
Hour.
know that you're
I
wrong, but
I
okay.
am not.
He prefers the money
Brett
pit, Chad.
Ratner is the vanilla. There is nothing Brett Ratner has ever given me that I've enjoyed. He has, I will stand and say, with that Rat Pack thing that he had going on with a deal with some sort of with the Middle East through financing. There are several films that he did produce that I do enjoy, but as far as directing goes, Brett Ratner is not in any way, shape, or form made a movie I've enjoyed.
James.
James.
You want me to go? I'm going to talk about somebody. I've seen all three of the films that he directed. He did bit parts in a bunch of films, but he directed three, the trilogy, if you will. And he's one of the only director that every film he made was featured heavily on Mystery Science Theater 3000. I'm talking about Coleman Francis.
I don't know who that
I
is.
was
Mm-mm.
watching all three of his films again. I am on a good day, I can string words together, but I'm not a director. That being said, he did things that made no sense. He was obsessed with having cigarettes in scenes, but not in a way that was artistic. It was like, hey, did you see this? This is a cigarette. Did you?
Now you make me want to go watch it.
Every one of his films has a small plane in it, even if it doesn't make sense. There's a scene where we invade Cuba using a small plane, and it's supposed to be a major military operation. It doesn't make sense at all. Real quick, a couple points about this. Jim Burrell of Pace Magazine characterized him as being the worst director of all time, suggesting he way surpassed Ed Wood in his ineptitude. Murphy of Mystery Science Theater 3000, who was also a writer there, said anytime they had to do one of his films, it made him angry, saying Coleman Francis uses edits like blunt instruments. He uses blunt instruments like blunt instruments. His major themes are death, hatefulness, death, pain, and additional death. He looks like Curly Howard possessed by demons from hell because not only did he direct all the films, he cast himself as the major hero in every one of them, or the villain. It depends on how you want to view the movies, but they are not good films.
Does the name Stephen Paul
No.
sound familiar to you guys? So, Stephen Paul, it's bad enough that he has produced such wonderful hits as Baby Geniuses and Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2,
God,
and
God rest Bob Clark's soul.
Tekken. But he's produced 109 movies, most terrible. But he has a few decent movies in there in all of it. But let's talk about his directing credits. He's only directed 6 movies. 3 were TV series. The one he's most notable for is Falling in Love Again, Slapstick of Another Kind. Do you remember me trying to get you all to watch this movie?
It's got Leslie Nielsen in it, right?
No,
No,
guys.
this is the one that we watched with Madeline Kahn,
Khan and
and
Jerry Lewis as twins.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a movie that halfway through, I just wondered how many drugs were on set at all time and who
yeah.
got to use them because not everybody did, obviously.
Yeah,
That's a dreadful movie.
this if our audience, if you have not seen Slapstick of Another Kind, do not watch this.
No, if you're gonna watch a bad movie that's a lot of fun, watch Skidoo.
Skidoo. But if you want to see absolute horridness in a movie, watch Slapstick of Another Kind. It's about two twins, Jerry Lewis and
Madeline Kahn.
they play twins with very large brains who only talk to one another. Everybody thinks they're weird. They come to America flying in a fortune cookie type spaceship. Guys, this movie's awful. and it was directed by Stephen Paul. Stephen Paul stole this, he wrote this script from a story he stole from Kurt Vonnegut Jr.
Bonehead Weekly Fun Size.